Hi and welcome to a demonstration of MetaShare. My name is Carl Marn and I'm the product manager of MetaShare. In this video I will show you how easy it is to find and work with documents in MetaShare. I will however start with a few slides with an introduction to MetaShare. MetaShare is an app for document management in Microsoft Office 365. That has been developed in tight collaboration with Microsoft. It has later been reviewed and approved by Microsoft as an Office 365 app. MetaShare is an app that is easy to activate. This takes not more than about 5 to 10 minutes. It is easy to configure. Once you've defined your own information structure, you can easily configure your document management solution within a few hours. It's easy to use. MetaShare is very intuitive to use and requires minimal end user training in how to use the application. You might, however, need to educate your users in the new information structure that you've applied in MetaShare. It is easy to maintain. Any changes that you need to do in your information structure is automatically propagated to all document management sites. The key benefits with MetaShare is that it replaces folder structure with metadata structures. During this demonstration, I will tell you more about the benefits with using metadata structure as opposed to traditional folder structures on a file server. It also automates SharePoint with administrative functions that are quite complex to manage in standard SharePoint, and it creates a homogeneous structure with a clear logic that can be reused across all your Office 365 applications. With MetaShare, you will be able to save time and money as well as increase your operational efficiency. You will also be able to increase your end users' productivity and engagement. As you see on the screenshots here on the right, the top screenshot is an overview of how MetaShare's start page looks like, and the other screenshot is to show that we have a very tight partnership with Microsoft, and that MetaShare together with Microsoft Teams also coexist in a very good manner, which I'll be showing you soon. This video will show you from an end user perspective how easy it is to find and work with documents in MetaShare. It will not show you how to configure and administrate MetaShare and how MetaShare automates administrative functions. These topics will be shown in other videos. Before showing you MetaShare, I would like to explain the concept of MetaShare's metadata navigation and filtering. I will start by showing you how users on a daily basis use metadata to find items. In this example, I'm showing how they find clothes in the websites for Urban Outfitters. On the screenshot on the left, you see that I have a pre-selection to look for shirts. There are 574 shirts to choose from, and instead of scrolling them all, I use the filters that are available on the left-hand side of the page to narrow down my choices. On the screenshot on the right, you see that I've applied some filters. In this case, I've filtered to only show gray shirts with short sleeves and a crew cut neck of medium size. Having done this, you will see that I now only have 7 items to choose between, and most probably I will be able to select one of them. If I'm not happy with the selection, I can easily remove one of the applied filters or remove all of the filters and apply other filtering choices. In MetaShare, we use the same principle of filtering, but instead of showing shirts, we now present documents. The available filters in these screenshots are just examples of metadata filters. You can yourself define which filters you want to use in your organization. In the example below, you see on the screenshot on the left a document workspace that shows me all available documents, where the latest modified documents are shown on the top of the screen. In the same way as with the website from Urban Outfitters, there are too many documents in this list, so I need to narrow down my choices. I do this by selecting a business area, in this case sales, and then choose agreement as a document type. After having applied these filters, I now only see approximately 10 documents instead of maybe thousands of them. So now I will show you MetaShare. This is how MetaShare looks like. On the left-hand side of the page, you see the metadata filters that are configured to be shown on this page or in this workspace. These filters are just examples of filters, and you can define which filters you want to use in your organization. On the right-hand side of the page, you find a list of all the documents, where the latest modified documents are shown on the top of the list. Information about the documents are shown in columns, for example, area, document type, keywords, and company. In the list we also show the document's version, when they are modified, and who they were latest modified by. To narrow down my documents, I can now choose to filter the documents on one or more dimensions. This is done on the left-hand side of the page by opening up any of these dimensions. So if I open up area, I see a few business areas. I open up document types, I see a number of document types that we use internally, and there are some keywords as well as companies. So I could start by selecting sales as a business area. What happens when I select one of these filters is that the applied filtering dimension gets a blue color, and the choice that is selected also gets a blue color. I get a breadcrumb on the top of my list that indicates that I'm now filtering on sales as an area. I can now proceed and filter down on the second dimension here as well by selecting any of the applicable values here, or if it's easier for me, I can directly click on any of the values here in the document list. So in this case, I click on agreement. And once again, agreement is shown as a breadcrumb up here. I get a funneling icon next to this column, and I see that only agreements are shown on my screen. And I could continue now with applying a third filter, GDPR as a keyword, for instance. While I do this, you see that my selections are blue marked here on the left navigation. I can collapse these filters. GDPR as a filter is a child to governance, so it automatically opens up this node in the left navigation as well and applies the filtering on GDPR. I've so far not selected any company. So out of maybe a few thousand documents, I now see 2 documents. I can now broaden my documents by deselecting filters. So if I deselect agreement, for instance, let's see what we've done regarding GDPR in other document types. And I can choose to deselect sales as well. What I see now is basically that there are just 3 documents directly marked with GDPR as a keyword. If I close this filter as well, GDPR, and instead of selecting my filters here in the left, maybe I know directly from the beginning that it's something related to GDPR that I am looking for. So I can start typing GDPR here in my search box. And now I have 2 options. One is that I do a pure free text search, or while I type here, I actually get some proposals. So there is a keyword in the system called GDPR. So I can select that. And what I get now is the same 3 documents that I had earlier on. And of course, I can combine that with other tags as well, exactly the same way as I did before. So instead of selecting one of these values here in the list, I can do a pure free text search, GDPR. When doing this, now I'm not just searching for documents that are tagged with GDPR, which this, that, and this third document are, but I'm also searching for any documents that have GDPR somewhere in any form of metadata or as free text inside the documents themselves. So as you can see, this 4th document here has GDPR in its name, but this document does not seem to have any GDPR relations. But if I click and open up this document, you will see that most likely somewhere within this document there is something regarding GDPR, which we see here in this topic. So now I've shown you a bit about how you easily can search for and find your documents in quite large organizations where maybe you have thousands and thousands of documents scattered all around. The question is now, how do I add documents to MetaShare? As a contributor to any workspace, I have these 2 buttons on the top of my page in the toolbar. I can create a new document or I can upload documents. I'll start by creating a new document. If I have not selected any pre-filtering, as in this case, what I see now is on the right hand side of my screen I see a document property card. All the red boxes here are mandatory columns or mandatory information that I need to fill in. Of course, I need to, in this case, I am creating a MetaShare agreement for a company called Course. Of course, the name of the document is important. I need to select an area. So in this case, I select sales. I need to select a document type, and I select agreement. Based on the fact that I actually selected document type agreement, the system will propose to me a number of different applicable templates. So in this case, I select a license agreement for MetaShare. But I could, if I want, create a document based on any other template that I have in the solution. And if I would search here as well, I can easily find the template that I'm looking for. Just to show you, if I would have selected different document type as CV, for instance, then I would get other suggested templates. I'll go back to agreement and select the license agreement. I'll click on save. So what you see now is that my document will be created based on this template, and the document will be listed on top of my page as this is the latest modified document in this solution. If I, instead of creating it as I did right now, would have from the beginning already pre-selected sales and pre-selected agreement and done a similar upload or creation, what you see here is now that my form is pre-filled with sales and agreement. So now basically I just need to give the document a name and also define which template to create it based on. If I open this document up now that I've created, it will open up in the web application for Word. Now I can easily go in and start editing my content in this document. So I go in and replace this sentence with something else. Once I'm done, it's saved, and I go back to MetaShare. As I did not add any information about which company this document applied to, I can now click on Properties and go in and define that obviously this document applies to the company course, and I save it. What we see now is that I created a document, I went in and modified it, and later on I re-tagged the document with a tag. And all the time I just see one document in my list, but I can now click and view the specific document's version history, and here I see the changes that have been done to this document since it was created. Lastly, I changed the company to course. So apart from creating documents based on templates, I can as well upload documents, and this can be done by clicking on this upload function up here and selecting one or more files that I have in my computer, or I can just take up the Windows Explorer window here and I select the number of documents that I have on my desktop and I drag and drop them to this space. Once again, as I had pre-tagged or pre-filtered on sales and agreement, I see that they are pre-filled in this form, so the only thing I need to do is click on Save. And these documents will now, all of them, be uploaded and tagged with these two dimensions, sales and agreement. What I notice, however, is that I actually managed to forget to tag these documents with a company. So now I can multiple select these 8 or so documents. I don't want to change anything on the other dimensions, just the company, where I select to update them with course. And now on the list you will see that all of these will be tagged with course. So apart from uploading documents from my desktop, I can as well do the same thing from my Outlook. So if I open up my Outlook, I take a few emails that I've received from a client, maybe, in this case course. I could just drag and drop them to my window here and select course and save, and these 2 emails will be presented on the top of my list as well. So I have now shown you how easily it is to actually work with documents from the MetaShare user interface. I will show you now how these documents can as well be shown and presented in Teams, Microsoft Teams. So if I open up Microsoft Teams, in this case I have a MetaShare team that has a few channels. When I clicked on a channel, in this case in General Channel, I have the Posts tab where I have a communication with my colleagues, and then I have a MetaShare tab. So when I click on the MetaShare tab, I will be presenting all documents that I have that are tagged with MetaShare in this example. So you see it's pre-filtered on MetaShare, and I'm just presenting the documents that are tagged with MetaShare. If I go to another channel, in this case internal support, and do the same thing, here I go to the MetaShare tab, you will see that in this channel we are doing a combined filtering on MetaShare and support, and showing you these 7 or 8 documents here. Back to my presentation. I thank you for taking your time to see this video. I hope that I've managed to show you how easy it is to find and work with documents in MetaShare, and how MetaShare will increase your end users' productivity and engagement. Within soon, we will be producing more videos that explain MetaShare from other perspectives. The next ones in line is how to configure MetaShare and how these changes are propagated to all MetaShare workspaces. If you'd like to ask me anything regarding MetaShare, please don't hesitate to contact me. Here you find my contact details. If you want to test MetaShare on your own, you can do it by going to metashare.com and selecting one of these options. If you select the Try Demo, you will get a mail with login credentials to a demo environment that we have set up. In this environment, you will not be able to configure MetaShare for your own needs. If you select the free license or buy license option, you will be able to activate MetaShare in your own Office 365 tenant, and then you will have all options to configure MetaShare for your own needs. The free license is free up to 2 users. From metashare.com, you can also access MetaShare's online help that also includes quite a few FAQ pages. And under the About MetaShare page, you can also access MetaShare's service description, its terms and conditions, and also MetaShare's release notes, as well as upcoming releases. Thank you for listening to me.